Good morning, everyone. Very early in the morning, just now gone 8 o'clock a.m. Indochina time. That's 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Just going to share the YouTube link on my Telegram channel, so maybe some people will join in. And nobody here yet. And it looks like we have bearish momentum. Bearish bias since the close of the U.S. session last night. Candle here since about 1 a.m. Indochina time, 1 p.m. No, that would be, yeah, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, the close of the U.S. session, and it was bearish and then sideways, and now starting bearish again. But we're bouncing off of our pivot point. This is the starting point for the day. Generally, we'll either move away up from this or move away down from it. That's at 4201. And remember, this is a zone, not a magical number. 4200 is a strong psychological zone where we have been breaking below and then coming back above. We reached a low a couple of days ago, 4174. No, that was yesterday, 4174. I'm still not 100% awake, guys. Bear with me. If you're watching in the chat, be sure to let me know where you're from. Oh, good morning. So the first candle, as always, looks like maybe a fake out towards the downward move. We just wait and see how it unfolds. And this is what we do: sit on our hands, watch the candles, wait, let the price tell us what it's going to do. Those of you that follow me regularly, you see I'm still using the free version of EVMux. That's the third-party software. So we get that little annoying logo at the top. But as I'm going to take a break for Christmas and New Year's, and then when I come back, I'll have the paid version. It's a monthly subscription, and so I don't want to pay for something I'm not going to use. So after New Year's, I'll get the paid version. We won't have that little annoying logo scrolling out there every 3 or 4 seconds. But at least we got the chart here. We got me, and this streaming software works very well. Generally, holds the connection. Sometimes it drops out, but that's not the software's problem. That's my internet connection where I live is not so great. So the price just went back up and touched our 8 EMA. That's our resistance, moving average, and now falling back down to the pivot point, 4201. And as you can see, I've got the logo here, Tickmill. That's the broker I use. They're very, very good. I have visited their office in Dubai. They have a country manager in Asia. They have a business development manager in the country where I live. Very, very good. And they also have a prop firm called the Trading Pit. So they're very solid. They've been around for a long time. I really like them. I have a good relationship with them. Anybody that wants to join me in my Tickmill team, that's where you can find out information about them and register, get signed up if you want. Be glad to have you on board. Oh, we got a bit of a red candle there and a bit of a break of our downward trend line, or upward trend line, sorry. The green action line it is now. As you know, I'm a trend line trader. We have a green line and a red downward line on the 15-minute chart. And if it breaks and closes below the green line, that means take action. That means go short. That's my strategy. Then I would put my stop loss above the safety line. The red line would be the safety line. And that would be at about 42. So at the moment, about a 100 pip stop loss, a little bit more. But we wait till this candle finishes, see what it's going to do. Looks like it's going to continue down. It's only 7 minutes into this candle. If you were watching yesterday, I had a losing trade. I made two mistakes on that trade. I'll admit that. I'm very transparent. I made two mistakes on the trade, and it turned into a losing trade. So I lost 0.07%, less than 1%. And that's okay. I'm okay with that. I took the trade during the live session, but then after I got off of, after I stopped streaming, then it went down and hit my stop loss. Oh, that's a nice bearish candle there. Only 8 minutes into the candle. Now, my strategy is as after it breaks the trend line, that's the trade setup. I can go short. But I have the preference, the option to wait till the candle closes, and that gives me additional confirmation if it's closed below the action line. Or I could take the trade now. But sometimes I've seen I get a fake out on this first candle. So it usually works out better for me if I wait. Although you see, I could get a better price right now to 41.98. Or are we going to close below this pivot point? This pivot point, starting point for the day is support, and we've broken support now, and we've broken my action line. Just going to get my phone ready. Maybe takes a trade on the phone today. Oh, that doesn't look very good. What's going on here? Oh, okay. Wow. Looks like a big candle on the phone. Okay. 10 minutes with that candle. Some people will, on this strategy, they wait for a pullback. Now at 41.97. So our blue line there, the pivot point is now resistance. 42.01 is now resistance. If you just joined in, be sure to comment, let me know where you're watching from. And if you're new to the channel, be sure and subscribe and click the little bell so you'll be notified when I go live. Generally, Monday to Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Boy, that is running away with me. 41.96, pulling back a little bit. 41.95, and I might let this go. 3 more minutes on this candle, and it might go down to the. If it keeps going down, it'll go to 41.83. That's the first support level there. Could have taken that on the break. Looks like it's going to be a. It's not a fake out. 2 more minutes on that candle. Looks like it's not a fake out, guys. We have downward momentum, continuing bearish. Let me go over and look at 4 hour chart and see what I got on the big picture. Yeah, it's bearish on the H4, still bullish on the day chart. Oh, glad I didn't jump in there because it's pulled back now $2. But that's looking more like a trade I would like to take. Give it another minute and a half. Yeah, generally you get a bit of a pullback. That's normal, what we're seeing. Just pull back a little bit more before I take the trade. Uh, playing with my emotions. Hey, good morning, Khaki. TGIF, guys. Thank goodness it's Friday. Of 5 people watching. If you're new and you haven't commented before, let me know where you're watching from. I know where Raj is, I believe, New Zealand. And here's a new one, Juan Canelo. Juan Canela. Good evening. You must be in the USA if you're watching in the evening. Okay, 8:15. I'm going to take a sell trade. I let the candle close. So this is my strategy, guys. So I let the candle close and then took my sell trade. And now where am I going to put the stop loss? I said 42.10, I believe. Yeah, 42.10. Yep. Just bear with me while I set this up. Stop loss at 42.10. And take profit at the first support level, which is 41.83. I'll put it just a little bit above that, 41.84. Okay. I'm all done. This is my trade for the day, and I'm in profit. So I'll just go ahead and mark up this chart where I put my stop loss at 42.10. Change that to yellow. And that is my stop loss. And then my take profit is down here at the first support level. And I took the trade on this first candle right there. Okay. Sometimes I make notes on here. That's all done. See how that goes. Okay, all good. And then after the trade finishes, I will take a, a one of my trades. And I recommend that you do that. It gives you a chance to go back and look at what you've done and learn from your mistakes. Juan, if this is your first time, where are you watching from, Juan? I'm just going to jump up and grab a bottle of water. Now I'm back. From Colombia. Okay, cool. Latin America, Central America. That's so cool. No hablo español. So not as big a candle, but it's only been 4 minutes on this second candle. Now, guys, I do have the option here. This is something I haven't talked about. When it is moving like this, okay, what would I do if it should reverse? If I get a dramatic change in direction and it starts to head up and looks like, it gets like it's obviously just going to turn bullish, I have the option to reverse the trade rather than let it go all the way up and hit the stop loss. Or it could hit the stop loss, which is pretty close to the safety line, and after the stop loss, then reverse the trade because then it would have broken above this trend line and be heading bullish, so I could reverse the trade. And that's a mistake I made yesterday. I didn't do that. I took a buy trade, and it was a and it went down and hit my stop loss, and didn't do anything. I could have reversed the trade and would have had a good short, but that's an option that I have, which I didn't do yesterday. That was my second mistake. The first mistake, I didn't let the candle finish. I took it a little bit early, and it was a fake out. I went long, and when that candle finished, then it reversed and went short, if you were watching yesterday. Yeah, Kaki, I use a little bit different strategy, a little bit different method for calculating bullish and bearish on the higher time frames, and I use the moving averages. And let me just go back to my 4 hours so I can explain that. And what I've got is I have the three different moving averages on my long-term charts, and the candles are below the 20 moving average. And when the candles are below the 20 moving average, it is bearish. And on the day chart, the candles are above the 20-day moving average. And the day chart, which is a higher time frame, takes longer to show a change in direction than the 4-hour chart. And usually the day chart will follow the 4-hour chart, but it takes longer to show the change in direction. And I've only shown bearish on the 4-hour chart for 2 days. Actually, no, that was on Wednesday. So this is the third day that it's showing bearish on the 4-hour chart. So I use a calculation. I use three different moving averages, and it's some mathematical calculations. I won't go into that, but basically what I just said, candles are below the 20 moving average on the 4-hour chart, and that is bearish on that time frame. Now what are we getting here? Bit of a change in direction. What did it go down to? 4194.5. Is it going to come back up and hit this pivot point, the support, and then continue down? Another 5 minutes to go on this candle. I only use the 4-hour and the day chart to give me the big picture of what's going on. So it's bearish on the 4-hour chart, and that means it could be turning bearish on the day chart. And then if it's bearish on the day chart, that's what I call fully bearish. Definitely look for an opportunity. Let's coming back up to our pivot point there at 4201. and on the it's 4208 on MT4, 4201 on MT5. And just looking at my, I've got a right on 1%. So looking on MT4, 4201. This is looking like a pretty decent trade, a good trade. You know, it's just a case of waiting for the candles to play out, sitting on my hands. But I don't like the position of my stop loss. I'm going to move that up $2. Give it a little bit more breathing room, just a little bit more breathing room. And now I'm quite a ways above that. Okay. Because on MT4, the pivot point is 4208 right there. And now my stop loss is above today's highs. So I wanted to have that breathing room. Although, you know, that's the safety precaution right there. I am very unlikely to let it go that far. If it comes up and touches my trend line and then starts to break above that, I would likely close the trade and reverse the trade to a buy trade. But we are bearish, and we just have to sit on our hands and let this play out. Go into 240, 212 on the chart. Maybe. Okay, yeah, that looks a little bit better. Okay. No, just close below the 20. On the 4-hour chart, you would wait till that 4-hour candle closed below the 20. A close below the 20 is a bearish indication. And you know, that's pretty well accepted throughout the industry. If you watch any other analysis, you'll hear that a lot, especially on the day chart. A close below the 20 is a bearish indication. And then some traders use the long-term traders, the really big swing traders, they use a 200 moving average and say that a close below the 200, this that's also bearish. That's on the longer term charts, maybe the weekly or the monthly. If you were right on the 20 and it's moving below and then it moves back up and then it moves back down, no, that's not. You need to wait till the candle closes below the 20. So we have our 8 exponential moving average. That's the yellow one, and that is resistance. See, it came up and touched that, came up and touched that, came up and touched that. It looks like it's just kind of coming back up to touch the resistance of the 8 EMA, which is pretty close to the pivot point for the day, 4201, and then perhaps going to move in our direction. And here is a case of where I could have waited for this candle and then got an even better price. Some people will do that, wait for a pullback. Didn't wait for a pullback. I don't usually do that. You know, if the first candle gives me the clear indication that it's bearish and it's moving in my direction, that's my trade, and I'll take the trade. And then I sit on my hands and wait and just accept that it will move up and down. So, Juan, are you a new trader? You're new to the channel. You've only been here once or twice. And do you trade gold? I assume everybody trades gold. That's the only thing I've traded this year, 2025. And I only trade the one instrument. And next year, after New Year's, I'm going to add platinum to my portfolio. And then I'll be trading two instruments. So now we're on the third candle. It's gone 8:30 a.m. here in Indochina time. That's Cambodia, Laos, Vietnam, Thailand. 1 hour later, if you're in Malaysia or Singapore. Did anybody take a trade today? Anybody go short? Yes, Juan, you only trade gold. That's cool. I highly recommend that new traders come in. They only trade one or two assets at the most. That's all you can keep track of. You need to build a relationship with whatever it is you trade. Understand how it moves, when it moves, why it moves. And it takes time. You have to do the reps. Take time to get to know the. A lot of new traders will put all the major pairs on their chart and some minor pairs and some commodities and indexes. You can't trade all that stuff. Everything moving in a different direction and trying to keep up with what's going on. Did anybody take this trade today? This short trade? I'm sure that everybody that's trading here uses a different strategy. If you get 100 traders in the room, you get 100 different strategies. This is the only strategy that I have used in 2025, and it works very well. Sometimes when gold starts at 8 o'clock, right on the hour, it will just go in the right direction and keep going for an hour. But then, like yesterday, it didn't do anything for the first 30 minutes, and today it's not really doing anything. It's a little bit below where it started at 8 o'clock, but not really doing anything. And then yesterday at 10 o'clock, it started to move. I believe it was. Yeah, we had the big bearish move. Let's see, what time was that first big candle? That one there, the first good bearish candle was 8:45. So you see these first few candles when the market opened didn't do anything, and it faked me out. I thought it was gonna go up, and then it came down and hit my stop loss. I did not reverse the trade. That was my mistake. I should have reversed the trade yesterday. And then it went all the way down until, wow, until after lunch in Indochina. A really good bearish move yesterday. Did anybody take that trade yesterday? Mm. Now what are we getting here? 4201, 4200. That support zone, now resistance zone. Okay, Juan, you're not comfortable selling, so you must be looking for an opportunity to buy. And Kaki, you're still learning the strategy. That's fine. Two ways you can do that. You trade on a demo account, or you can trade very small lots, micro lots, 0.01. So you really minimize your loss. Even with a 100 pip stop loss, you only lose $10. So a couple of different ways you can approach the learning time that you use. But you need to eventually move from a demo account to a live account, because trading on a demo account and trading on a live account, the emotions are very, very different. When you have real money on the line, very, very different emotions, and you need to learn to deal with them. Okay, the 20 moving average on the long-term charts is a SMA, a simple moving average, not an EMA. 4 hour didn't close above the 20 EMA. Let me look at my 4 hour chart and I'll give you the price. Okay, we can't look at today's 4 hour chart because the candle hasn't finished. The last 4 hour candle, which was yesterday, the US session, closed at 41, 4207. Is that right? Let's be sure I get this right. Closed at 4207. It's just below the SMA, the simple moving average, just below the 20. And it has been below the 20 since day before yesterday. Actually, at 10 a.m. on Wednesday, it closed below, and then it has stayed below, and it has not gone back above on the 4 hour. Yeah, on your longer term moving averages, 20 and above, you want to use the simple moving average. And that, again, that's standard throughout the industry. On your shorter moving averages, use the exponential. So we got a dojo here right now with another 5 minutes to go on that candle. So still bearish, still below our pivot point, which is now resistance. Just waiting for a big drop. Eh? Come on and give us a big move in the right direction. Okay. You're welcome. This is the boring time for the traders. Just looking at the chart and looking at the candles, sitting on our hands. And this is what the market does. It'll just make you so bored. And then you sit there with your boredom, with that emotion of boredom, and you think, oh, I need to buy, I need to sell, I need to click something. And that's when you make a mistake and take a trade you shouldn't have taken. Detach yourself from emotions. And there's more emotions than that. There's a lot more emotions than boredom. There's greed. I'm not greedy. I take a small lot size according to my capital that's in my account. I don't overtrade. I take maybe 2 or 3 trades, no more, in one day. So I'm not greedy. I'm willing to grow my account gradually over time. And then there's hope. You hope that it's going to go in the right direction. I don't hope it's going to go in the right direction. I have my stop loss in place. Everything is there. There's nothing to do. Either it works or it doesn't. And if you use good risk management and lose 3 trades out of 5, you can still end up with profit. This is not quite an ideal risk to reward ratio. We didn't check that yet, did we? Uh, Little tool. Um, a long trade, that's a short trade. Let's just check the risk to reward ratio. Where did I take this here? I think I took it right there. Okay. And my stop loss is there, and my take profit is there. So I got about a 1 to 1. That's not an ideal risk to reward ratio. I would prefer 1 to 2. But and the situation is if it starts to move down, then I can move my take profit down to where it was yesterday, get a little bit better risk to reward ratio, move it into 41.74. So I follow the trade. Move my Also, I've moved my stop loss below break even, but not yet. I mean, I'm just about where I took the trade, just about to break even. I like to let it move about 100 pips before I move my stop loss to break even. Oh, Raj is in on the sale. Cool. On futures, you get a different price. That's true. Correct. And I don't trade futures. Never have traded futures. Not interested in trading futures. I've looked into it and I know what it is, but I've started with forex more than 10 years ago, and that's what I stay with. And most traders in Asia trade forex. What broker do you use, Raj, for trading futures? The broker I use, Tickmill, I've told you guys they also have the prop firm called the Trading Pit. And on the Trading Pit, you can trade CFDs, which is what we're trading now, or you can trade stocks, or you can trade futures. Most prop firms just allow one or the other. The states In the states, they only allow futures and stocks. Well, they allow futures trading. Hey, Howard, good morning. You woke up to see you here. Everybody click the little like and share button. I appreciate that. Don't forget to like and share. It does help the channel, helps me. I have clients in the US and they cannot trade gold spot like I'm doing here. They can only trade gold futures. In the US, you're not allowed to trade CFDs. They're very restrictive in the US. Boy, this is really a boring session, eh? A nice big move. Wow, it was so bearish. Wow. Sell. And now it's just playing with our emotions, just making us bored, getting ready to try to take our money. The market is designed to take your money. That's why you have to always protect your capital. Always use a stop loss. Some traders don't use a stop loss, and then they blow up their account. Oh, trying to break above our resistance line there now. But that's just that candle just started 2 minutes ago. And I have my stop loss pretty far away. That's about a 1% loss if it hits that. And I really have a bias on the bearish move. I believe we're going to see lower prices today. So I'm going to try and hold on to this. Sometimes I'll hold on to a trade for 4 or 5 hours. Sometimes it takes it that long to play out and to get a good take profit. Now it's coming up above 4202, breaking above our resistance. There it goes. And the key question here, what is it going to do at 9 o'clock? What's it going to do in 12 minutes? Sometimes it will continue the direction and go for the rest of the day. And sometimes at 9 o'clock, after 1 hour, it completely reverses. I've seen it do both. And that's breaking above my previous action line. Boy, that's a big green candle there, eh? There are tighter restrictions in the US, and they don't allow to trade any CFDs or gold spot. You can only trade futures in the US. They're very restrictive. And if you have brokers that allow leverage, you're only allowed 1 to 50. Where in Asia, we get 1 to 500. Brokers even get 1. They have all kinds of strange rules in the US also. It's first in, first out. If you have 2 trades open, you have to close the first one that you opened before you can close the second one. We don't have those restrictions in Asia. And I believe the brokers in the US, they report your income to the government, and we don't get that in Asia. That's why in Asia, if you're American, you cannot sign up with a broker. They will reject your US passport. They don't accept US citizens. Very rare you can find a broker in Asia who will accept US citizens. So it's trying kind of bouncing away from our action line there, but still at 4202. Yeah, green trend line is resistance. That's correct. But remember the blue line there, that's a zone. Okay, it's at 4201. So really 4202, 4203, that's a zone where we have resistance. Even 4198, 4199, 4200, that's a zone where we have resistance. If you look back in the look back here a little bit, this was resistant. It broke above, broke above, broke above, fell back down, that closed a little bit above. And then all of these candles here, all right on that zone. Not exactly on the number. It's not a magic number, it's a zone. That's why I put my take profit just a little bit above the first support level here. I put it $1 above because sometimes it'll come down. It won't necessarily exactly touch that support level. It might come down and then bounce away from it, get close and then bounce away. So just remember, it's a zone, it's an area. Well, this candle is looking a little bit more in our favor, getting a pin bar there. Has couldn't close above our green action line, and now it's dropped below our pivot point. Another 7 minutes to go on this candle. And also that's why I moved the stop loss a little bit above the resistance zone. I moved it up to, what was it, 4212. 4210 was a little bit too close to the resistance. So sometimes it will come and just go a little bit above resistance and hit your stop loss and then go back down. So I give it some breathing room. You got to give it room to move around. 5 more minutes on this candle. So we got 6 people watching now. That one includes me. And I hope that after the New Year's, we'll be able to build this channel up a lot better, get a lot more support, get more people in here. So be sure to like and share. And if you're new to the channel, like Ron, subscribe to the channel, click the little bell so you'll be notified. And I try to be regular, 8 a.m. China time, Monday to Friday, for the Asian session. This is my bread and butter session. I do occasionally trade the London session, but I'm always al and generally you can get a good trade. But I don't trade the US session. Oh, we just had a drop in connection, but it came back. That's good. This streaming software is working now better than when before I was using just direct on YouTube. I don't trade the US session. It's too crazy. You get red, green, red, green, red, green. I mean, you had these. This is about when Chicago opened. Then you had a bit of a trend there. Then it went back up. Then it came back down. Then it went back up. I don't like all that nonsense. Generally, the Asian market will trend in respect to trend line. So back up to our green action line there, resistance. I might stay here till after 9 o'clock. That's another. I might be here another 10 minutes because at 9 o'clock, either it will just dramatically reverse direction, or it will continue in the same direction. I've seen both things happen, and it's not predictable. If I look at the 1 hour chart, the 1 hour chart is kind of a doji on this 8 o'clock candle, and it's above the pivot point. It's at 4202 now. But I'm going to stay with this. 4210 is my stop loss. Let's just see what happens. Trying to break above the 8 EMA and trying to break above the action line. And another 2 minutes on this candle. Now it's now it looks like the bulls had control of that 15-minute candle. Boy, let's see what happens in the next minute. Okay, Raj, I'm going to let it play out. I have the bearish bias, and I'm just going to let it play out. My stop loss is above the uh, action line and above the resistance level, the next resistance level. So you'll bail out, take a small loss, okay? Hmm. Yeah, I'm getting another bullish candle there. 9 o'clock. Looks like it's going to change direction on us. While it's doing that, I'll just go over and look at forexfactory.com if I can. Let's see here. See what news we've got. Let's see here. Can you see that on my? There it is. Forexfactory.com, and we got in the U.S. session, we've got some Canadian news. That's the employment change and the unemployment rate. If you trade currencies, USD CAD, AUD CAD, Euro CAD, that'd be important for you. And then at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 10 p.m. 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, 10 p.m. Indochina. We've got the core price index month and consumer sentiment and inflation expectations. So that it could be quite volatile in today's U.S. session at 10 p.m. Indochina time. So just go back over trading view chart. There we go. Just a scratch trade for you. Okay. Don't know what a scratch trade is. Demo account, maybe? Ah, okay. Do something here. There's 9 o'clock candle. You gotta wait. You gotta wait for that candle. 9 o'clock, I've seen it change direction. It does both things. Sometimes it goes the same direction, sometimes it changes on the hour. But not seeing a whole lot of action here today. So I'm going to be holding this trade, I think, until for the next 3 or 4 hours, probably, the way it's looking. Unless it should make a big move up and hit my stop loss. But there doesn't seem to be a lot of volume. So I think this one's going to take a while to play out, and that's happened before. I've sometimes hold the trade 3 or 4 hours, and then it works itself out. So if you guys are still here, that's great. You really appreciate that. See if we got anybody else in. Oh, 7 people watching now. Cool. Yeah, I'm curious how it will play out too, Kaki. Okay, Howard, good question. Is it prudent to wait for the next candle after the breakout candle for direct? strategy works. When it breaks below the action line, and that was the very first candle, it did that. Okay, when it breaks below the action line, that for me is a trade setup. I'm ready to go short. Then I have the option, I can wait for the candle to close or I can go ahead and take the trade. And I have done both. Yesterday, when it broke the action line, I took the trade, but it was a fake out. So I should have waited for the candle to close. I got burned. And today I waited for the candle to close and I took my trade right here on the start of this next candle where the yellow arrow is, right? So you have that option. Now, you know, it's personal preference. Which way do you want to use the strategy? Okay, as you know, I learned this from Tori Trades last year in 2024, and when it breaks the action line, she just takes a trade. She never waits for the candle to close. But I'm in the Discord group, and a lot of the traders, they wait for the candle to close. So that's there's no set rule poured in concrete. Oh, there's Sean. Hey, Sean, how you doing today? I don't know if I answered your question, Howard. Let me know. And no, I don't think a buy is setting up. According to my strategy, the break of the upward trend line, this first candle, that's short. Go short. Okay, and I've done that. And I have my stop loss above my safety line, and I have my take profit at the first support level. And that's just what I think. And the only way that I would think that it's gonna turn around and go bullish is if it breaks above my safety line here, and then I might consider to reverse the trade and go long. But on the long-term chart, the 4-hour, it's a bearish bias. So my preference today is to hold this trade even if it hits my stop loss. But my stop loss is above the resistance level, and that gives it some breathing room. Okay, Sean, you're here and time to sell. No, one, I don't, what I see now, you know, I trade price action. I don't see any action telling me that this is setting up for a buy. The overall big picture trend is bearish. And all we're getting is just really sideways movement. Since the market opened in New Zealand and Australia, it's been bearish. And now we're getting some pullback. Okay, good. That answered your question, Howard. Okay. The only thing about if you take the trade when it breaks the action line and you don't wait for the candle to close, like if I had done that today, I would have a much better price. My entry was down here because I waited for the candle to close at 41.97, but I could have got in at 41.99, another 20 pips. So that's the disadvantage. If waiting for the candle to close, you know, you don't get as good a price. But if the candle hasn't closed, it can turn around and go the other direction as a fake out. This could have dropped below the action line, then went turned around, went back up, and started to go up, and that would have been a fake out trade. So if I took that before the candle closed, and I've done that, I did it yesterday. I didn't wait for the candle to close yesterday. It was going up, and then I took the trade, and it went down before the candle closed. It went turned around with the opposite direction. I should have waited for the candle to close. That was my mistake yesterday, and I'll show you that on the chart here, actually. Just scroll back a little bit. It was bouncing along here. This is 8 o'clock. No, this is 7:30. This is the 8 o'clock candle. And then I was waiting. The trend line was somewhere in here. And this candle right here, boom, it went up and I took the trade. I went long. The candle wasn't closed. And then it came down. It was just a fake out. Boom, went up like that. I thought, okay, we're going. And it didn't. Turned around and turned bearish for the rest of the next several hours. So obviously that put me in the frame of mind today. Wait till the candle closes because I got burned yesterday. You're welcome, Juan. Okay, I'm just loving it today, and I've never stayed this long. I'm gonna, I'm even gonna let this 9 o'clock candle finish. Yeah, baby, go. This is what I'm talking about, guys. This is what I'm talking about. You take the trade, and then it just kind of plays on your emotion, plays on your head. Looks like it's going to go against you, and then it starts to turn good. After you just get so bored. Now, I don't know that this is gonna keep going and hit my take profit, but this first candle, this 9 o'clock candle is starting to go in my direction. It's looking more positive. Yeah. Now it's trying to break below that support. So this is really interesting today. It was very boring for a while, but now it's getting interesting. 2 more minutes on this candle, and we have a bearish candle. Nice, beautiful red candle. I'd just like to see it close below that pivot point. Okay, Howard, you use the 5-minute time frame. That's fine. Whatever time frame you use. I started out with this strategy on the 5-minute time frame, but I didn't like it. There was too much noise. I've said that before. I had, too many fake outs on the 5-minute chart. So I moved to the 15-minute chart. But if you're a 5-minute chart guy, that's fine. Whatever works for you. And what was my entry point was 4197. I took the trade on this candle right here. I went short right here on the 8:15 candle, the beginning of the 8:15 candle. Yeah, it's bouncing off of this pivot point now. Now that's the finish of the first 15-minute candle. Let's see what we get here. I'm going to stay here for a little bit, guys. I'm going to be watching the chart anyway, and it's getting a little bit more interesting now. Not terribly interesting, but a little bit more. If you see a potential trade, you will often go to a lower time frame to fine tune your entry. Okay. Now, get some oomph. Come on. Yeah, now we're talking. Now we're talking. But I'm getting excited, but it's only 1 minute into this candle. They can just easily turn around so quick. And that went to, this one here went to, what was the high on that candle? That went up to 4204, 4205. That pivot point for the day, man, it's really staying around there. It bounced off of that before the session opened. This is the close of the USA. Bounced off of that pivot point, stayed around it here for a while, stayed around it here for a while. At 4200, that's a strong psychological number. And yeah, we've had some break below that, but then it came back up. So, I'm back in here, 4200, 4200 breaks below, keeps coming back up. Doesn't seem to want to go much lower than 4200. I believe next week we have the FOMC. Very important news coming up next week or the week after. Check forexfactory.com. And that's the FOMC. That's the Jerome Powell will come out and say whether or not he's going to lower the interest rate on the US. And if they lower the interest rate on the US dollar, that's going to be very good for gold. We would definitely bullish movement on gold. And there's actually a 90% chance that he's going to lower the interest rate. That's what all the analysts are saying. 90% chance that they will lower the interest rate. And that's going to be good for gold. Okay, Kaki, thank you for being here. Appreciate it. Don't forget to like and share. Thanks so much. See you Monday. Yeah, Sean, just sitting on my hands, doing nothing at all. That's what we do. 99% of our time as traders is sitting on our hands, just looking at charts, doing nothing, waiting, getting bored, being bored. And then 1% we spend trading. But 99% of our time is doing nothing. Oh, come on, get moving. I'm trying to cheer the bearish move. Uh, but it goes one direction or the other. It's either going to go up or it's going to go down. If it goes up, it hits my stop loss. If it goes down, it hits the take profit. There's nothing for me to do. I have everything in place. I planned the trade. I'm trading the plan, and of course, I'm happy if it's working out in my direction. But if it doesn't, well, it doesn't. Watching fishing videos on a third screen. And, that's what I do in the US session. I don't watch fishing videos, but I watch Netflix on my iPad while I'm looking at the charts on the US session because I don't trade in the US session. I do watch it, but I don't trade. So I watch Netflix on my iPad. Yeah, Sean, I'm looking. I think I remember, Howard, you're in New Zealand? You do a lot of fishing in New Zealand? I presume. Okay, come on, baby. 41.98, almost my entry point. In fact, I'll put that just to make it look a little bit more interesting. What did I say my entry? 41.97 was my entry point. Yeah. So I'll just put a little note right there. So in a little bit of a loss right now. Getting close to break even. Maybe on this candle, which has 9 more minutes to go, might get a bit of a move in the right direction. And on the what am I on here? Let me look at this one. Okay, on the 1-hour chart, yeah, we had the 8 o'clock candle on the 1-hour chart was kind of a not really a doji, but I forget what that's called. Not really a hammer either. But the 9 o'clock candle is definitely bearish. Nice red candle. You just need to get somebody to push behind it there. Well, that's a good point, Sean. Where is it going? I always ask myself, where is it going? It's going to the first support level, and that is 41.83. It's extremely likely that if this stays bearish, it will go to 41.83. Support and resistance, the horizontal support and resistance is extremely reliable. I've just seen it so many times over the years. And it will go down here and then very likely pull back and go to the pivot point, and then in the London session, maybe come back to the support again. But when you take a always ask yourself, where is it going? I can tell you it's going to 41.83, and I'm right now at break even. And this is a beautiful bearish candle. Okay, 41.88. If that's what you want to use for your take profit, that's cool. I put my take profit at 41.84, just a little bit above the support level. Because sometimes it'll go down, it won't quite touch it, and then it'll pull back. So I'll put it just a little bit above that. Oh, you're in Australia. What have you told me before what city you're in? Are you in Melbourne, Sydney, Brisbane? I lived in Australia for 5 years, and I've been in all of the states except, South Australia and WA. Those 2 states I haven't been to, and I spent most of my time in, North Queensland, in Cairns, and in Cairns, that's where I became a dive instructor, which changed my life, and that became my career, scuba diving instructor, and I stayed in Cairns for a year, and I taught diving there, and then left Australia after 5 years. Port Macquarie, Paradise. I can't remember where Port Macquarie is. Isn't that in New South Wales? I can't quite remember. Been a long time since I've been there. Yes, Juan, that's a typical emotion that you get some profit and you wanna get out. You see the dollars. You see a few dollars there, and you wanna bail out. And you basically, you're sabotaging yourself, because if this bearish move continues, it could be a massive, big profit trade. So to overcome that emotion, what you have to do is learn to hold just a little bit longer. Learn to hold it just a little bit longer each time. Because if you keep taking just these little small trades, you'll never be able to grow your account very well. So I'm gonna been here much longer than I usually stay, but I'm gonna wait for this candle to close. But it's looking like it's going to work out eventually. It's gonna take some time. This one's gonna take maybe 3 or 4 hours probably before it, really gets moving. Sometimes at 10 o'clock, another 30 minutes, sometimes then it really starts to move. You cannot predict the market. Just because it did something yesterday doesn't mean it will do that today or tomorrow. You're welcome, Raj. Thank you for being here. Don't forget to like and share. Another minute and a half, and I'm gonna say goodbye, guys. It's been a great session. I appreciate all of you being here, your comments, I really do. This interaction during trading sessions is just so much better than trading by yourself. And I hope we build this channel up next year to get a lot more people in. I'm sure we can. Another 30 seconds, 45 seconds on this first, no, second candle. We're looking very, very good. And I don't adjust my trend lines. I leave them as they are until the trade is closed. And then once the trade is closed, then I'll clear all of these notes off, move my stop loss, close the stop loss, take profit, adjust my trend lines, and then come back in the London session. Unless this trade is still open in the London session. I think this will finish around noon, around another couple of hours, and this trade will play out. Okay, there we go. Got the next candle started. Okay, Juan, thank you for being here. Appreciate it. And I'm gonna bail out from the live stream. So thank all of you for being here, and I will see you again on Monday next week. Have a great weekend wherever you are in the world. I wish you all the best with your trading. Thanks for being here, and I'll see you next week.